Hey guys, my name's Dave, this is Custom Spray Mods, and in this video I'm going to show you 5 reasons why your paint job sucks. So here are 5 little tips that I picked up. I train a lot of people and I see a lot of beginners, and a lot of them don't realize they're doing these things, and they're just 5 little tips that might make your paint job look a little bit better. So check it out. Here's tip number 1. Okay, so the first thing is spraying your product too thick, putting too much product on the job, especially primer, base coats, even clear coats. If you're just loading all that primer, all that product on the job, then it doesn't have a chance to dry properly, and it can be too thick. I mean, we want it to be primer, we want it to be a little bit thick, but we don't want to smash it on too much and maybe not leave too much time between coats. So yeah, especially in primer, a lot of guys put way too much on, don't wait long enough between coats. Maybe if you're in a rush, you're going to use some heat and try and heat up that primer. If it's really thick, it can cause a skin on top, and that can lead to pinholes. All the solvents need to escape, and if they've got nowhere to go, they're going to come straight through that skin and create little holes all through your primer. So if you find yourself with pinholes in your primer, it could be you've laid it on too thick. This can also have a problem because if your primer's not dry properly and you spray your base coat on, that base coat can react with that primer and cause cracking. So if you have cracking in your primer from your base coat, could be you spray the primer too thick and that's causing it to crack because the solvents are attacking it. So yeah, just spray a nice medium coat of primer, let it dry a good 15 minutes between coats, longer if it's cold, and then build those layers up slowly and you're not going to have a problem. That's tip number 1. Okay, tip number 2, again, it's similar to applying too much product, and it's when you're spraying your base coat. So when you're spraying your 2K base coat, especially if it's a metallic color, some people, I noticed, they want to try and get their panel covered and looking, fully covered with the paint straight away. And this can lead to a few things, especially if you're painting a pearl or metallic. If you smash that base coat on too much, go too slow with your arm speed, basically you're going to pump too much product on the job and it's going to be really peely and blotchy, and the metallics aren't going to get spread evenly. So it's important with your base coat to go nice and even and have fast moving arm speed and not be too close to the job. That's going to allow the metal flakes and the pearls to lay down nicely and evenly and match an OEM finish or give the proper finish of the color. So tip number 2, don't go too hard and too close with your base coat. You don't need to give it covered straight away, just take it easy, build up them layers slowly. Okay, tip number 3 comes down to clear coat or 2K solid top coat. So basically, when we're trying to get that nice, smooth finish with our top coat, what I see a lot of people do is they're too far away from the job. Whoa! All right, you gotta go heaps closer. All right, gotta go closer. Go closer, let's go. That's it. Keep going. All right, closer. So they have their spray gun too far away, the paint atomizes in the air and causes a rough finish. So when you're spraying your top coats, clear coat or top coat color, you need to get in nice and close and go a nice even finish, get that paint on nice and wet. If you're too far away, then it's going to be rough and it's not going to look nice at all. You can correct that by sanding and polishing, but you want to get in nice and close, get it nice and smooth and eliminate that dryness. So I've done 2 panels. One panel I sprayed a bit far back, the other panel I went in a bit closer, and I mean, the paint's not dried yet, but it's got a bit of peel, but it's nice and flat as far as it's not rough. And that's what we don't want. We don't want a rough finish. So orange peel is easy to correct, but if it's rough and dry, it can be very hard to correct. So get in closer with your spray gun on your top coats. That's tip number 3. So tip number 4, and I see a lot of people do this, is they're kind of like watering the garden with that spray gun. So they're not making the gun go evenly on the panel. So they'll start off and then they'll paint and then flick the end and get a little bit of a dry spot on the edge. So it's really important to keep your gun perfectly flat to the panel the whole way across the panel. Especially if it's curved, you need to rotate your arm, rotate your wrist, get that gun so it's spraying the panel evenly. Think of what comes out of the spray gun is a triangle. So it's small at the tip of the gun, goes out to a triangle. That needs to be flat, always on the panel. I mean, you know, especially in your top coats. So yeah, get that nice and flat to create a nice, even finish and eliminate any dry spots. That's tip number 4. So tip number 5, I see a lot of people do this, is they don't overlap their passes good enough. Basically, they're painting and, you know, instead of overlapping 50% or more, they're not overlapping at all. And this creates stripes in your panel. We don't want stripes in the panel. Yeah, you need to overlap more than 50%. And if you're worried about runs, then you need to have faster arm speed. So by going a bit faster with your arm, it's going to eliminate runs, and you can get in nice and close and do good overlapping, and that's going to make your clear coat or top coat color nice and even. That's what we want. So here's a bonus tip, and maybe your paint job sucks because you're using a spray can. Spray cans are very hard to get a good finish. Now, especially if you're using primer and clear coat. So yeah, when we spray primer from a gun, we use a 1.8 or 2 mil tip. That is the size of the little hole at the end of the spray gun. 1.8 or 2 mil. Now, if you have a repair, you need a good amount of high build primer going on your job. Now, the 1.8 mil, that allows us to put a good amount of primer on the job. Now, what size tip does a spray can have? If you're using a spray can primer, you've only got maybe a 1 mil tip or less, maybe a 0.8 mil of 0.8 of a millimeter tip, which is allowing not much product to come out. So we recommend 3 to 4 coats of primer with a spray gun. Now, to get the same 3 to 4 coats of a gun with a can, you're gonna have to put about 10 coats, maybe unload the whole can on the job. And that can make it difficult to get a nice smooth finish from a can. So yeah, cans are great if you don't have a spray gun, but you can't expect a job to be really good with a can. You can expect a really good job with the spray gun. So maybe it's time to ditch the spray can, get yourself a compressor and a spray gun, and yeah, you'll get a lot better finish, your repairs will look better, and your clear coat will definitely look better. So yeah, hope that helps. Okay, there you go. I hope those tips can help you get a better finish with your paint jobs. I do these classes here at VG Auto Paints, so if you're in Sydney or if you're in Australia, check out vgautopaints.com.au. You can find dates to all my classes, and you know, we get to work on panels like this. We get to do some blending, spray some clear coat, spray primer. We hit these with a hammer, fix them with some body filler, and we do all kinds of things, and it's just a great way to get some hands-on experience and practice, and you know, get someone to watch you and see what you're doing wrong and give you tips and advice to get a mad finish in your spray jobs, because it can give you a lot of satisfaction and can also save you a bit of money, you know, if you can fix your own stuff. So check out the website and book in. Now, you might have seen I was a guest on Mighty Car Mods, helping them with their project. So yeah, if you come here from that, you know, write a comment, because yeah, it's really cool to hang out with those guys. And yeah, we're just doing our YouTube things and making videos and trying to help people. So yeah, hit the like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment, and let me know any of your tips to get a mad spray job. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.